welcome to the calm after the storm. The south coast was absolutely battered by gale force winds and flash flooding over the past few days, but not to worry, I had the perfect vehicle to deal with it. This is the new 2015 Series 5 Mitsubishi L200. This all-new model is powered by a 2.4 litre diesel engine with 178 brake horsepower. That power is then sent to all four wheels via this 6-speed manual transmission in this case. Said engine combined with this new aluminium bodywork which has been incorporated into the design means that the Mitsubishi L200 can now claim to have 42.8 mpg as its combined economy figure. The specific car is the Barbarian, the top specification, and as a result features some more bright work externally, some rather snazzy alloy wheels, and some comforts such as dual zone climate control and leather heated seats inside. The standout thing with this new L200 is just how refined it is. I mean, for a pickup truck you expect them to rattle and bang and make a load of noise and not really be very well suited for predominant road use, but well, the tides have turned here. Mitsubishi have really made this car grow up a considerable amount. There's great sound insulation on the inside, meaning that on motorways there's now not sort of a drone from the engine. In 6th gear it's barely turning over and it's really nice and quiet. And on road its manners have improved greatly. No longer is it the great big wallowing beast that most pickups seem to be. It actually handles reasonably well with lots of grip and a suitable amount of body control for the car. But it's a much easier car to drive. The control weightings are much improved. Visibility's great, especially on this model where you get a reversing camera that makes life much easier, especially when parking. And just all in all, it's a nice place to be. It's sort of, the majority of people who buy this sort of vehicle are both using it for work and pleasure, so whilst you can stick a load of stuff in the back, you can also take the family out for a trip over the weekend and not have complaints of, are we nearly there yet, from the kids. The suspension has been made a bit more supple, meaning it doesn't sort of bounce over bumps and things. Yes, obviously, if you don't have a load in the back, you do get a bit more motion, but it's considerably better than its predecessor. Speaking of putting stuff in the back, that load bay is 1,470 millimeters squared, and you can put up to a ton of weight in it. So bricks, cement mixer, whatever you choose will go in there. And there's also the external shell option for it if you wanted to keep whatever you put in the back dry. And in case that rear capacity isn't enough for you, this vehicle is also capable of towing over 3 tons. Now the interior has really come a long way. It's much more car-like. We've got some considerably more supportive leather seats in here than the previous model, which is great. On this top specification Barbarian model, as I've mentioned, they are leather and heated. You also get this touchscreen infotainment display here. It's great that that's there. It gives you a lot of access to things like Bluetooth and whatnot. But it is a little bit fiddly to use. That's probably a gripe I have with the car. There's lots of menus inside menus. It's not the most straightforward system. But the interior as a whole is fantastic. You sit up nice and high, you can see over everything. It's a very commanding driving position. And in the back you can seat 3 abreast with plenty of head and legroom. This top specification car also gets some really nice ambient lighting in this case, which just adds an extra little bit of polish to the interior. But don't go thinking that the Mitsubishi L200 has turned into some great big softie, because it hasn't. It's dealt with the floods and the wind and all of the subsidence and things that's been going on in the local area brilliantly. Where people have had to be diverted, we've just driven straight through it. The other day we took it for a casual little bit of green laning and it just basically yawned and shrugged it off. It wasn't challenging enough for the vehicle at all. It's a very capable off-roader, and as well as having the rear-wheel drive selection here for better fuel economy, you also have the ability to select all-wheel drive, to lock the differential when in all-wheel drive mode, and also you've got a low-range gearbox option, which is very handy when there's a slippery slope to climb. Overall, the Mitsubishi L200 is a much more rounded character than the car it replaces, and that's absolutely fantastic for people who both want to use it for work and for the family. Would I recommend the Mitsubishi L200 over its pickup truck rivals? Do you know what? For being the best jack of all trades, and starting at less than £24,000, absolutely would.